The blockbuster trade that brought Micah Parsons to Green Bay was headline news, but beneath the excitement, there was a major concern that couldn't be ignored. Parsons arrived with a significant injury, his L4-L5 facet joint sprain. This isn't just a minor tweak or a routine bruise, it's a complex back issue that can linger and flare up unexpectedly, especially for a player whose game is built on speed, power, and sudden movement. This back injury, which already sidelined him during Cowboys camp, threatens the explosive power and relentless motor that have made Parsons one of the league's most feared defenders. For a player who relies on bending the edge, twisting through blockers, and delivering bone-rattling hits, even a slight loss of mobility or strength could be the difference between dominance and disappointment. Now, the Packers medical staff faces a daunting challenge. Dallas managed Parsons' injury with a combination of prednisone, a powerful anti-inflammatory, and an aggressive physical therapy regimen. But every team has its own approach, and Green Bay's doctors must quickly learn what works best for their new star, balancing short-term performance with long-term health. A pre-game injection is on the table for the season opener against Detroit. It might help Parsons suit up and play at something close to full speed, but everyone knows it's a temporary solution, a band-aid for a much bigger question about his durability over a grueling NFL season. Parsons hasn't practiced fully since June. That means he's not just rehabbing his back. He's also fighting to regain the elite conditioning that sets him apart. Every day away from full-speed reps is a day lost in the race to be game-ready, and the margin for error is razor-thin. The Packers are walking a tightrope. Push Parsons too hard, and they risk a setback that could cost him weeks or even months. Take it too slow, and their new superstar might not be ready for a crucial divisional matchup, putting early-season hopes in jeopardy. The front office is betting big on their medical team's expertise, trusting that they can keep Parsons on the field and healthy for the long haul. It's a high-stakes gamble, with millions of dollars and the team's playoff aspirations hanging in the balance. All eyes are on Parsons' recovery. Fans, coaches, and teammates are holding their breath, hoping that the gamble pays off and that their new defensive anchor can overcome adversity to lead the Packers to glory. Parsons made his Packers practice debut on September 1st, but it was tightly controlled. He participated in a limited role, working closely with trainers to ramp up his workload. The plan, gradual escalation, with every rep monitored for signs of back trouble. Teammates like Rasheed Walker are optimistic he'll be ready for more intense practices midweek. Even if cleared for Sunday, Parsons may be on a snap count, used in high-leverage moments rather than every down. The Packers are prioritizing long-term health over immediate impact, gathering data on how his body responds. His game status will be a last-minute decision, balancing risk and reward. Parsons' arrival has electrified the Packers' locker room. Cornerback Nate Hobbs called him a generational talent, knowing a fierce pass rush means more interception chances for the secondary. The entire defense feels the boost. Linemen get more one-on-ones, linebackers see cleaner lanes, and the secondary covers for less time. Rasheed Walker, Parsons' old Penn State teammate, boldly predicted a Super Bowl run after the trade. Parsons' relentless motor and passion are infectious, raising the standard in practice and games. Young players will learn from his work ethic, while veterans are energized by his presence. The trade wasn't just about talent, it's a culture shift. Parsons is expected to elevate everyone around him. The locker room believes he's the missing piece for a championship. The most exciting part of Parsons joining Green Bay is pairing him with Rashawn Gary. Gary, long the focus of opposing protections, now gets relief as offenses must pick their poison. Double-team Parsons, and Gary gets a one-on-one. Focus on Gary, and Parsons is unleashed. Defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley now has a strategic advantage. Chaos for opposing quarterbacks. Gary predicts the defense will be scary, knowing Parsons' presence amplifies his own impact. Together, they could finally push Gary into double-digit sack territory and form the league's most feared pass-rushing duo. On third downs, both can attack from anywhere, forcing hurried throws and turnovers. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a transformation of the Packers' defensive identity. The new front can take over games at any moment. Parsons isn't just an edge rusher, he's a defensive chess piece. In Dallas, he lined up at 13 different positions, from defensive end to slot corner. His versatility lets Hafley design a defense that's unpredictable and matchup-proof. The plan? move Parsons around, creating confusion and exploiting weak blockers. One play, he's a traditional end, the next he's blitzing from the middle or dropping into coverage. This constant movement forces offenses to guess, leading to blown assignments and hesitation. Hafley can now scheme Parsons into favorable matchups, almost guaranteeing a win on key downs. The Packers are rebuilding their defense around him, adding new packages and blitzes to maximize his impact. Parsons' presence thickens the playbook and makes the defense far more dangerous. He's the kind of weapon coordinators dream about. Parsons' impact goes far beyond just racking up sacks. He fundamentally changes the dynamic at every level of the defense. His presence on the field forces offenses to account for him on every snap, creating a ripple effect that benefits his teammates in ways that don't always show up on the stat sheet. For linebackers like Key Walker and Isaiah McDuffie, Parsons' ability to draw attention means they'll have cleaner, more direct paths to the ball. Blockers are forced to stay home and help on the edges, opening up lanes for these linebackers to make plays in the backfield or pursue ball carriers sideline to sideline. This not only boosts their confidence but also allows them to play faster and more instinctively. The secondary, perhaps, benefits the most. A dominant pass rush led by Parsons forces quarterbacks into quick, often rushed, and predictable throws. This gives corners and safeties the green light to play more aggressively, jump routes, and take calculated risks knowing the ball is coming out fast. Suddenly, turnovers become more likely, and big plays on defense start to pile up. Parsons' versatility is a game changer. His ability to drop into coverage adds a layer of disguise to the defense, baiting quarterbacks into mistakes. Offenses never know if he's coming after the quarterback or lurking in a passing lane, which creates hesitation and confusion. Defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley can now show blitz, then drop Parsons into coverage at the last second or vice versa. This unpredictability keeps offenses guessing and makes it nearly impossible for quarterbacks to get comfortable or settle into a rhythm. Offenses are forced to adjust by keeping extra blockers in for protection, which means fewer receivers are available downfield. This limits the offense's options and gives the defense a numbers advantage in coverage, making it even harder for opponents to move the ball. The entire defense becomes simpler and more confident, knowing that Parsons can take over at any moment. Players can focus on their assignments, trust the scheme, and play with a swagger that comes from having a true game wrecker on their side. Parsons doesn't just make the defense better on paper. He elevates the play of everyone around him. Teammates feed off his energy and playmaking, and the entire unit becomes more cohesive and effective. Now, opponents aren't just trying to attack the Packers' defense, they're trying to survive it. With Parsons in the mix, every snap is a challenge, and every play is a potential game changer. Landing Parsons took more than draft picks. It required a record-shattering contract. The Packers gave him a 4-year, $188 million extension, making him the highest-paid non-quarterback ever. With $120 million guaranteed at signing, it's a bold declaration. Parsons is the new cornerstone. This deal signals a shift for the traditionally conservative Packers, who are now all in for a Super Bowl run. The trade and contract together mark one of the biggest moves in franchise history. With historic money comes historic expectations. Parsons must be a transformative force, not just a star. The pressure is immense, but so is the belief that he can deliver another Lombardi trophy. Every play will be measured against this massive investment. In a move rich with symbolism, Parsons will wear number 1, the first to do so since Packers founder Curly Lambeau. Unretiring this number required top-level approval, signaling the franchise's belief in Parsons' potential legacy. It's more than a jersey. It's a challenge to become an all-time great in Green Bay. For Parsons, switching from his Dallas number marks a new chapter and a new identity as the defense's singular force. He's embracing the pressure, aiming to be the number 1 player on the number 1 defense. The gesture bridges generations, connecting the team's storied past to its ambitious future. Fans will see number 1 back on the field, a symbol of hope and a new era. Parsons is now the face of the Packers' next chapter. Excitement is building to a fever pitch this Sunday as the Green Bay Packers prepare to host the Detroit Lions in what promises to be a thrilling, nationally televised season opener. The energy in Lambeau Field is palpable, with fans from both sides filling the stands, eager to witness the first chapter of a new NFL season. This isn't just another game, It's a statement, a chance for both teams to set the tone for the months ahead. All eyes are on Micah Parsons, the Packers' high-profile off-season acquisition. The big question on everyone's mind, will he suit up, and if so, how much of an impact will he have on the field? Reporters and analysts are buzzing, speculating about his health and readiness, knowing that his presence could shift the balance of power in this matchup. The uncertainty surrounding Parsons has already forced Detroit's coaching staff to rethink their entire offensive strategy. They're poring over playbooks, making last-minute adjustments, and preparing for every possible scenario. The Lions know that even the threat of Parsons changes the way they have to approach this game. If Parsons is active, the Lions' offensive line faces a daunting challenge, contending with not just one but two elite pass rushers, and a Packers defense that's been retooled to create confusion and chaos at the line of scrimmage. Every snap will be a test of discipline and communication. Even if Parsons is limited to a handful of snaps, his explosiveness and ability to disrupt plays could throw Detroit's offense off rhythm, forcing hurried throws and costly mistakes. The mere possibility of his presence is enough to keep the Lions' quarterback on edge. The Lambeau crowd will be electric, their energy amplifying every moment Parsons steps onto the field. The roar of the fans will make communication difficult for Detroit and give the Packers' defense an extra edge. Expectations for the Packers' defense have never been higher. No longer content to simply compete, this unit is now expected to dominate, to set the tone, and to be the difference maker in big games like this. One explosive play from Parsons, a sack, a forced fumble, a game-changing tackle, could ignite the team and send a message to the rest of the league. It's the kind of moment that can define a season. Even if Parsons is used sparingly, the Packers' defense remains formidable. But with him at full strength, this group has the potential to be absolutely game-wrecking, capable of shutting down even the most dynamic offenses. The Packers' bold off-season gamble faces its first real test under the national spotlight. With the entire NFL world watching, the stage is set for a dramatic showdown, and the outcome could reverberate throughout the league for weeks to come.